Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Fandom Fights. My name is Tim. I'm joined today by Mr. Nick Twohig, drinking some water, wearing a red shirt, and he has a beard. I don't have a beard anymore. I shaved. How you doing?
I'm hurt and tired, but I'm ready.
Did you eat today?
Yeah. First time in like 2 days, but it's okay.
Okay. All right.
Training for Survivor.
It's fair. We've got Rue versus Antonio. What do you think?
Interesting matchup here. Both players winning their last match on this sort of quest for the title with our 500 players. One of the players will return to a 500 record after tonight. The other will go on to a contender match. So exciting stuff. And I think they're pretty evenly matched here. Rue still obviously showed us what he did in his first match, but I think he's got a little bit more to show us since he's back. And Antonio's already doing well in teams and having an impressive singles performance. So evenly matched game, Tim.
Yeah, let's get into it, starting with the promos.
Okay. So I have to do some housekeeping first. There's going to be a post-match that comes up, and I've said some harsh shit about Fun DMC in a promo for a teams match. I want that on the record that I don't mean the words that I said in that promo. I was just very pumped up because we knocked out a Kingsman. So I want that on the record. I want that free and clear. That's nothing against you, Antonio, or Abel, if we do play you guys in the future. I was just heated. That being said, Antonio, I hate being a manager against you because I managed you for 2 years. I think he's got a lot of talent, a lot of success, but I'm really excited to be here with Rue. Rue, how are you feeling?
Ditto, just replace manager with former team member, Gotham Knights, my man. I'm very glad to be back because there's a lot of people who I love in this community. I've never played, one being Antonio. So I'm excited, and I want to keep this run going of playing people I've never played before but have known for years. So, my man, I love you, but I got to beat you today. Let's do this.
It's a real shame that we got to play Rue because, like, on any other day, you guys would just talk Knicks. And
hell yeah.
How great Jalen Brunson's been, how Julius Randle finally woke up, how they're misusing Isaiah Hartenstein, and how Tom Thibodeau is actually not the coach. But alas, we have to engage in this battle of wills against someone we both know very well. An extremely formidable opponent, but newsflash, you're one of those too. So how do you feel coming in for this one?
Pretty good, but Rue's one of those guys where, like, he's extremely, like you said, extremely formidable, extremely tough, and I feel like I'm going to have to depend on a little bit of luck today. He's my boy, like you said, Knicks fans, and that's how we sort of bonded, ex-teammates. And also my girl's a big fan of his because he likes how he hosts his own little thing here and there. So that's another reason, like, when I told her that I was facing him, she was like, "Aw," like she didn't want me, but she still wishes me luck. And this is being a very interesting match, and I've been honestly looking forward to this for a very long time. So hoping to come out victorious, but it definitely be well earned.
Let's do this.
Nick, thoughts on the promos?
You're facing your back door.
Yeah, Maggie's still working. I didn't want her to have to be in the shot the whole time.
Cool. Great promos. They seem like they like each other, so I'm sure there will be no harsh words said by anybody today.
Yeah, I would doubt that. Let's get into round number one. How's it going to work?
Round number one. It's going to work like this. There's going to be 10 questions in the realm of Fandom Fights. Each player is going to have 15 seconds to write down their answer. At the end of 15 seconds, we will say pens down, at which point the players will reveal their answer and say it aloud. Each correct answer is worth 1 point apiece, and should any individual player get all 10 questions correct in round number one, they would receive a bonus question. Each player will have 3 repeats, 1 challenge for the entirety of the match. Players, any questions as we begin round number one?
Nope.
All right, then your first question comes in the category of the MCU. Your question is, who is the first named character to die in Avengers Infinity War?
Oh, man. I'm leaving for a trip in the morning.
Are you excited?
Yeah, we haven't packed yet, so Maggie's a little nervous. Bucky's very upset. 5.
You haven't packed yet? That sounds like it's something you should have done by now.
Repeat.
1. All right, I heard Rue first on the repeat.
Okay, yep. The question again. Who is the first named character to die in Avengers Infinity War?
So we leave in the morning around 7:30 to go to the airport. We have a 2-hour layover. which I'm not pleased about.
Where?
But then we get the whole evening to hang out, eat some food, chill.
Great.
It's gonna be nice. 5.
I'm
4,
excited for you.
3, 2, 1. Pens down. We're gonna start with Rue.
I forgot his name, so I put Loki.
Antonio.
Heimdall.
Heimdall is correct. So Antonio will take an early 1-point lead as we get into your next question, which is in the category of James Bond. Who directed Moonraker? Little known fact, the Macaw's favorite James Bond film.
Really?
No.
Makes sense.
Do you know what her favorite James Bond film is? I bet I could tell you.
Imagine it's one of the more recent ones.
The most, one could say. 5.
That makes sense.
Is that accurate, Maggie? 3. Yeah, I'm getting the nod. 1, pens down. Let's go to Antonio.
I had nothing.
Rue.
Louis Gilbert.
Louis Gilbert is correct. So Rue ties it up 1-1. What's next, Nick?
Your third question comes in the category of the Worlds of DC. In The Suicide Squad, Harley is at one point engaged to a man with what political title?
We love talking about politics here at Fandom Fights. We have kings. We have, like the Koho one. We have random champions.
Yeah.
Those are all political titles, right?
Totally. Why don't you name some more, Tim?
1, pens down. I realized it after I said it. Fuck off. Let's go to Rue.
El Presidente. President.
And Antonio.
Right, president.
Yeah, that's correct. All right, your next question is in the category of DreamWorks Animation. In Shrek 2, who switches Fiona's teacup to make sure she doesn't drink the fairy godmother's love potion just before Prince Charming kisses her?
I like shorts, sweatshirts.
Yeah. Sweatshirts I'm really big on.
Yep.
I do like shorts as well.
Belts are nice.
Belts are great. Belts are fantastic. One could say you could use many different items to make a belt. 5, 4, 3,
Yes.
2, 1. Pens down. Pens down, Rue. Pens down. I don't know if we can take that. Let's go to Antonio.
Her father, Harold the King.
And Rue.
I scribbled something really quick, which is wrong anyway. I don't think. Prince Charming.
Okay. Antonio is correct. So it is 3-2 in favor of Antonio. What is next, Nick?
Your next question comes in the category of YA. Which YA film features someone being killed by someone else with a sword?
Let's name every YA film right now, just from memory, to see if you and I can do it. You like that one? I'm glad I could turn it for you. Oh my God.
That was funny.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Let's go to Rue.
Said Hunger Games.
And Antonio.
I said the Hunger Games.
Both are correct. 4-3. The next question is going to be in the category of American Spies. In Mission Impossible, how does Ethan realize that the operation in Prague was a setup to reveal a mole in the IMF? Mole is a fun word.
Mole, 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 mole.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. When was the last time you were clean shaven?
That would be January 1st of 2020.
Ooh. 3,
yes.
2, 1. Pens down. Let's go to Antonio.
There was a second team of IMF agents.
And Rue.
I said when he sees Phelps die.
I think we can take Antonio's answer, correct? Yep. Okay. So Antonio will go up 5-3. What's the next question?
Next question comes in the category of DC. In The Batman, who gets injured in the explosion by the package meant to be delivered to Bruce Wayne?
DC likes to add "the" to their titles, shake things up.
Indeed, they do.
We've seen it twice now in this match.
Correct.
You weren't huge on this one.
It's fine. I just hate when like a movie comes out and it's like 3 hours and
Pens down. Yeah, it's fair. Rue, we'll go to you.
The blanking today is horrible. No,
Antonio.
Alfred?
Alfred is correct.
Wow.
So 6-3. Your next question is going to come in the category of Star Trek. In Star Trek First Contact, Worf, Picard, and Lieutenant Hawk walk on the outer hull of the Enterprise to detach what kind of object?
I was gonna go on and say like it's 3 hours and it's like shot well, and so everyone needs to be like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's
he
good.
like fought some internet people at the end, and like I wasn't overly.
Somebody in this community said that a certain actor in it that played a villain should win an Oscar for it. 5.
I just see like I don't care about that. Like it was fun.
Pens down. Let's go to Antonio.
A deflector dish?
And Rue.
I said a beacon. It's a big disc.
I think we can accept.
That's up to you. I have no idea. This is on
I'm
you.
gonna say both.
Both? Okay, yeah, you would know way more than me. So
yeah.
Okay.
They both do that.
So what's next, Nick?
Your penultimate question will come in the category of scores and soundtracks. Who composed the score for Transformers? Robots.
Did you see this movie and then think that all cars were actually robots in disguise?
I thought it was a possibility, for sure, but not
Cube. 5,
Yeah.
4, 3,
the
2,
cube.
1. Pens down. What I've done. Let's go to Rue
Steve Jablonsky.
and Antonio.
Oh, I would have been wrong. I said Hans Zimmer.
Steve Jablonsky is correct. So Rue cuts into that lead a little bit, making it 7-5. As we get into your final question of round number 1 in the category of fandom quotes. And your question is, in which Halloween film does Dr. Loomis say the quote, "Besides, I might say that I've endured quite a lot of misery of my own in order to tell this story"? You have a favorite story? Like children's story, maybe?
Sure.
That you read as a child? Was read to you?
Once there was a cat, and he used 8 of his lives, you see.
Oh,
And then a wolf showed up.
yeah, that's a good one.
Badass.
1. Pens down. That is a good one. Let's go to Antonio.
Halloween 4, Christian Michael Myers.
And Rue.
I said the return of Michael Myers.
Both incorrect. We're looking for Halloween 2, the 2009 version. So both incorrect. But at the end of round number 1, I am Antonio in the lead 7-5. What do you have, Nick?
That's what I have, Tim.
Okay. Let's get into round number 2. How's it going to work?
Round number 2 is going to work like this. It is the wheel round. We have a wheel with 8 fandom categories on it, as well as spinners and opponent's choice. Each player will get a spin at the wheel. If they like to spin the first time, they can keep it. If not, they can choose to spin again, but they will be forced to keep what they spin the second time. They get 5 questions in the chosen category, each worth 2 points apiece, unless you like to check down a multiple choice, in which case it will only be worth 1. And be on the lookout. Stealing is available in round number 2. Tim, what's on the wheel today?
On the wheel today is Star Trek, Law and Order, Middle Earth, Worlds of DC, American Spies, Sci-Fi Icons, James Bond, and the Wizarding World. Antonio, you're in the lead. Would you like to spin first or defer to Rue?
First of all, great job. I think we can defer here.
Yeah, that was my gut too.
I'm curious what how he does here and see what we got. So
yeah, so we'll defer.
All right. So bring in Cody.
Relax. You're fine. It's only 2 points.
So yeah, did that. I'm only down 2. I'm all right.
Lands on James Bond.
We shall spin that again.
Yeah.
Great. This is what you are going to be stuck with. It lands on Worlds of DC.
Take your time. You know, be smart. Use your repeats if you got to get those 2 points. All right.
All right, Nick, will you please go ahead and read Rue his questions in Worlds of DC?
Gladly. Rui, prepared for your questions in the category of the Worlds of DC.
Yep.
The first question. Which Worlds of DC film features the death of a character named Anatoly Kanayasev?
Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
That is correct for 2 points. And a tie game. Your second question. In Aquaman, what type of sea creature is seen playing the drums at the duel?
An octopus.
That is correct for 2 points.
Scene is fucking awesome.
Your third question. Who plays Enchantress in Suicide Squad?
Cara Delevingne.
That is correct for 2 points. Your penultimate question. In Shazam, Freddy secretly tests if Shazam is immune to fire by telling him they are testing what power?
Five.
Multiple choice.
All right, your multiple choice options are: is it A, laser vision, B, flight, C, teleportation, or D, invisibility?
Teleportation.
That is correct for 1 point. And your final question. Who helps Harley on roller skates catch up to the car that took Cassandra in the final chase scene of Birds of Prey?
Huntress.
That is correct for 2 more points in a sweep of the Worlds of DC.
So I threw now at 14.
Yep.
Okay, so we bring back the wheel and Mr. Meltzer. This is going to be the spin for Antonio.
Expected that.
It lands on sci-fi icons.
I think we should. I think you were telling, based on what you were telling me before this match, I think you should take this.
Yeah, I don't want to risk it. Yeah, I'll stick with it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Antonio, I will give you your questions in sci-fi icons. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, your first question. Which Alien versus Predator film features a death scene where a human and an extraterrestrial... Sorry, what?
Right.
Okay, so let me restart. I had a total just brain fart moment. Which Alien versus Predator film features a death scene where a human and an extraterrestrial fight and wind up killing each other? Five, four.
Predators.
That is correct for 2 points. Your next question. Who plays Sector 7 Superior Seymour Simmons in the Transformers series?
John Turturro.
That is correct for 2 points. The next question. What is the name of the artificial neural intelligence system that is ultimately responsible for the world's dystopian future in the Terminator series?
Skynet.
That is correct for 2 more points. Your fourth question. In RoboCop 2, what do the new RoboCops continue to do once activated, making the new RoboCop program a failure?
Killing themselves.
That is correct for 2 points in the lead. And your final question in sci-fi icons. A person with what profession gives Neo blue pills to suppress his memories at the beginning of the Matrix Resurrections? Five.
Psychiatrist.
That is correct for 2 more points. So at the end of round number 2, I have Antonio in the lead 17-14. Is that what you have, Nick?
That's correct, Tim.
All right, let's get into round number 3. How's it going to work?
Round number 3 is going to work like this. It is the betting round. We have 5 more questions in the realm of fandom fights. Once players hear the category, they can bet anywhere between 0 and 2 points on the question. If they get the question correct, they will gain those points. If they get the question incorrect, they will lose those points. We will play until someone is mathematically eliminated or we have reached the end of the match. Players, any questions as we get into round number 3? Take it away, team.
All right, the first category that you can bet points on is Planet of the Apes. Let's get back starting with Antonio.
0.
Okay, and Brew.
2.
Okay, your question in Planet of the Apes. In Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Caesar bites off what part of Will's neighbor's body? Bucky kind of reminds me of Caesar.
Yeah.
Very strong, is that what you said, Maggie? Can speak human, yeah.
He could lead like a dog.
Three, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll start with Antonio, who bet 0.
I said finger.
And Rue.
Finger.
Finger is correct. So Rue cuts into that lead a little bit, making it 17-16 in favor of Antonio. What is the next category, Nick?
Next category you can bet points on is Law and Order.
Let's get bets starting with Rue.
Oh, I erased that like an idiot. I'm sorry. 2.
Okay, and Antonio.
2.
All right, Nick, what's the question?
Question is, which Law and Order film features a villain who left 2 water jugs on a fountain?
Oh, man.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
I just had to buy a big water jug because my water hasn't been working.
And you're a villain. 5.
And it was bad and made me sick.
1, pens down. Let's go to Rue.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
And Antonio.
I was literally watching the scene before the match. Die Hard with a Vengeance.
That is correct. So Antonio maintains his 1-point lead. We'll get on to the third question. The next category is American Spies. Let's get bets starting with Antonio.
Cool.
And Amaru.
2.
All right, your question in American Spies. Who plays Heather Lee, head of CIA cybersecurity in Jason Bourne?
Oh my God.
Jason Bourne.
Tim.
Oh my God. It's Bucky Brzakala. He just looked at me like, what do you want?
I could see him leaning in and being like, Bucky is.
3, 2, 1. Pens down. We're going to start with Antonio.
Julia Stiles.
And Rue.
Alicia Vikander.
Alicia Vikander is correct.
She was in
So Rue will go up to 20. Antonio will go down to 17. So it is a 3-point game now. 2 questions remaining. What is the next category, Nick?
Next category you can bet points on is DreamWorks.
Let's get bets starting with Rue.
0.
And Antonio.
2.
Okay. Nick, what's the question in DreamWorks?
Question is, in Megamind, Minion pretends to be what specific space relative of Hal's?
I like this movie.
It's good. It's a good movie.
It's good.
I had a weird, desire to watch Kung Fu Panda 2 today.
Nice. That's a good one.
And I did.
And you did? Nice.
Not Kung Fu Panda. I just watched.
I like the second one more personally. So 5.
Wow. That's
3.
a bold statement.
1, pens down. Let's go to Rue, who bet 0.
Grandmother.
And Antonio.
Space Mom.
And your winner, Amaru Moses. The answer is
Stepmom. God damn.
Stepmom is the answer. So, unfortunately, can't give Antonio the points on that one. But, wow, Nick, what a match!
That was a great match. That was fantastic. And Antonio just missing it there, almost making it down to the final question. He definitely had some inkling of the right answer. But listen, he was leading most of the time. Rue comes back, switches the lead. That's an exciting match. I hope these two play again in the future because they say it was their first time playing each other. it was fantastic to watch. Both of them sweeping their round 2 categories. Rue having maybe a bit of an off round 1 and still keeping his head on to come back and retake the lead in round 3. This had every ingredient you need for a good Fandom match.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into the post-match interviews. We will start by talking to Antonio.
Indeed, we will. Antonio, close there, close but no cigar. Listen, I think a lot of people, if I was to guess, I'd say you're one of the most underrated players in Fandom fights for sure. And it's because you're at a 500 record, but it's always because you have a great win and then you play someone equally great and you just barely lose to them like we saw today. I think this could be a really great year for you. I think even though you lost today and you're back to 500, I think you can take a lot of things from this match and from your previous win that'll let you go forward into this year and maybe have a bit more success than you've seen in the past. How are you feeling about the match today and your career in the future?
Just really felt like, I should have not played it safe with Planet of the Apes. I just never know if it's going to be like one of the old ones, but maybe that's my own fault. I should always be like securing, I guess, pretty much everything with that category. And then, I was like, at the last second, I was like, was it an even funnier joke by making it a stepmom? But I just went with the first instinct, and man, so it was a tough match. Rue was great, and again, it's just pushing me to just keep wanting to get better, and not let this stuff happen. I don't want it to be so close, or if it is close, I always want to come out the winner. So it's definitely going to take this with a grain of salt.
Jake, thoughts on Antonio's performance?
Yeah, I think that this match, in addition to the other matches we've seen him in so far this year, I think have proven that Antonio has stepped up his game. I think he played really fantastic the first 2.5 rounds. Like, he was pretty much unimpeachable. Missed a couple questions round 1, but still out with the lead and then just sweeping sci-fi icons like it was nothing. And I still I think I don't want somebody to bet when they're not confident. And I just could I have pushed more? Yes, but that's all hindsight. And I just think Rue was gonna come back. I always he's too good.
Yeah.
And I knew this was going to be a really tough match, but I think Antonio proved what a high-level player he is, and I think he's going to continue to do so for the rest of the season as he continues to keep really nailing down all these movies. And I think he's got some stuff coming up in teams that I'm super pumped for. But I don't think he should hang his head today because Rue's a fantastic player.
Yeah,
fantastic
sure.
dude. It stings a little to lose Cody, but you know what? We'll make it up. I can assure you. Great job today, man. Managing you is always fun, and I can't wait to get back at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, guys. Well, I couldn't agree more. Congratulations on a match well played. We will see you again soon in the near future. So bringing our winner today, Amaru Moses. You may not have thought that yourself, maybe coming out of round 1 or round 2, but at the end of the day, all that matters is what happens at the end of round 3. Rue, not only did you show proficiency in a lot of old categories, but you showed that maybe you got some strengths in some of the newer categories, which could be proved to be some weaknesses for some maybe more established players. So with this being said, you did come back, you did get the win, you did play fantastic, and you did keep your head in it when maybe things looked a little dour. You're now moving on to a number 1 contender match, I believe your first one in the realm of Fandom fights, so that should be a fun time. How are you feeling about the win today and going forward?
This proves what I always know about myself. As long as I can keep it close, I have a chance. Even when I have 2 of the biggest brain farts of my life in trivia, which happens apparently twice in a round, which is okay because I came back afterwards. I also think this is the second round 2 where I went to multiple choice when I didn't need to, but again, keep my head on, make sure I get the points, don't get the steals, and let round 3 do what it does. So I feel good. Antonio, man, you killed this match, man. Just love playing you, and I know you'll be back soon. I'm happy to come out with the win after that round 1.
Yeah, I don't know how many, like, I mean, Roop played great. So, Roop did play great, but I mean, Antonio played a great game. But there was wasn't really concerned. I knew it was going to go down to the wire, but that's why I like the betting round, because even if I'm down, I can make points up in that round. And not many matches, I believe, we're going to play and Rue's not going to remember Heimdall. Like, I'm just not. This is one of those scenarios. He gets 5 points in round one. I think that is one of the weaker games from him at that point. So we're already seeing there, and he came back for the win. So, like, I don't think he scores that much in round one many times. So I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for what Rue did tonight. I'm excited for him to move on. I am talking to people on the computer. I love being a parent. Tim, you're going to love it. This is just a great time. Rue, you did great. I can't wait for your next match.
Speaking of your next match, as I said, it will be a number one contender match. Not to spoil last week's match, it hasn't happened yet. You will be playing either Kaiser Huang or Jake Marangoni for a shot at the title. Thoughts?
I mean,
you want me to shit on? I can do that for you.
I want Jake to win,
yes.
But we also don't want to beat each other.
Iron sharpens iron. I'm fine with that.
Jake, beat his ass, please. Let's go.
Well, I don't want Jake on the other side. I want those two to be able to play, and then I just sit back and watch them two play. I like when faction plays faction. I know our other factions don't, but it tests who you're against in your faction and where you need to get to and where you can help each other, because you're playing. And yes, one loses, one wins, but then you know what you need to get to that level to beat them next time. So, and that's what I want is holding the title. So I hope Jake wins, because that would be great for Jake, because to see him go there. But Kaiser's a really great player. He showed that he's improved a lot from last year, especially in Last One Standing. So either way, I think Rue's got what it takes to go challenge for that belt.
Good stuff. Well, we look forward to seeing it. Congratulations on the win today. Tim, put a bow on it. Yeah, me too, Tim. I think so, too. That's a good point you're making.
I'm turning into Cody every day. No, I think you said it really well when the match was over, that this had all the makings of a great Fandom match, that score changing, huge lead, and then Rue coming up and shaking it up, keeping it close, sweeping round twos. It was a fantastic match, and I was glad to be a part of it. So thank you to Rue and Cody. Thank you to Jake and Antonio. Thank you to Nick for writing this one. I've been Tim. We'll see you guys real soon with the next match. Until then, bye.
And again, that's the hero gig. Part of the journey is the end.
Goodbye, old friend.
Kitty has to go.